This is I, the Dalek Emperor. Welcome to another Dalekcast. The first question comes from, Stolensberger. It reads, were any Dalek want insane when they put on the planet Jervis 7? What? What he's talking about? Suitborn trailer. Oh, yeah. I remember Suitborn. Yeah, I remember Suitborn. Had a terrible time trying to survive Suitborn. Specifically Man in Suit, Five Nights at Man in Suits. It's a Roblox game, obviously. You know how much there's a reason why I've kind of stopped playing that game. It's been a while since I played Roblox, but whatever. I'm interested to see it. Anyway, have a look at the trailer. Yeah. I may do night 2 if it's at all possible. Anyway, so now we got videos from Slick Eddie, Gusina, and Alberding. So, Jeremy Alberding. So our first videos, these are from Alberding, and they're both made by Monumental. And first one is they knew it was over and Darth Vader showed up, War of the Rings, and everyone is terrified of Darth Vader. Right. Now, I've had a look at the videos, Alberding, and they're good videos, however, they do contain copyrighted footage, and another thing, they were all made with generative AI. It's an AI video, yeah. So, yeah, I sadly can't react to the first two, but the one at the bottom, Warhammer 40k explained by Stormtrooper, made by Space Lycan, I can react to, because I have this policy. Let's just say I should probably have said this in the rules. No AI SLOP video. I've had a look at the video. It's good. The video is good. However, I do not, will not, shall not, I do not appreciate AI in videos. It's time I express my stance with AI. I do not like AI. And the fact it's in videos, it ruins creativity. So, yeah, sorry, Alberding, but I'm going to have to skip those two because, frankly, I do not like AI. And, frankly, I can't because it has footage from movies and TV shows. I can't show it. Sorry. Warhammer 40k one. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. This is why YouTube's algorithm sucks now, because it's just promoting AI slop like this. And yeah. And frankly, I don't want to be the one that is leaning into the, oh, today we're going to react to something AI. I'm not one of those YouTubers that's going to be supporting or making my videos AI generated. I'm not fucking Quibble Cop. Okay, so our first video is a video made by credtit. It is called Copper. Now, this is about the Poppy Playtime history of drama. Now, you may know this about me, but I have lost interest in Poppy Playtime. Yeah, I no longer am a big fan of it, and frankly, I don't want to play Chapter 6 because it's kind of, yeah, I feel like it's spit in my face, and frankly, I don't want anything to do with it anymore. So, we're going to have a look at the history of drama.
The most controversial horror games of all time. From the company who made the game being seen as greedy, to fan-favorite characters being given barely any screen time, there's been a lot of different times where Poppy Playtime, or Mob, has found themselves in some drama. And today, I'm going to be going over every single one of Poppy Playtime's controversies.
I do tend to see them as a bit of a scummy business, in my opinion. Because what they're basically doing, they're basically producing content slop for children. And they fucked examination in the ass. They basically used examination to get what they want. And frankly, I do not trust them. They are very, very shady with their business deals.
Controversial moments. Subscribe. The very first time Poppy Playtime had even a little bit of controversy was before the game even came out. In fact, multiple years before Chapter 1 even released. If you don't know already, the company that made Poppy Playtime, Mob Entertainment, was originally just a YouTube channel who made Minecraft animations called Enchanted Mob. And the manager of the channel was named Zach Bellinger. You probably recognize that name because he's now the CEO of Mob Entertainment, but we'll get more into that later. The channel was pretty popular with millions of subscribers, and there was a bunch of people who were fans of the channel and decided to give animation a try themselves. One of those people being Coaster. They started to make similar Minecraft animations, getting some pretty good views, some videos even hitting a couple million. And one day, when Coaster was live streaming with a friend on YouTube, he received a notification from the owner of the Enchanted Mob channel, Zach Bellinger. Enchanted Mob was the...
I can already tell this Zach guy I'm probably going to hate. Because he is... I don't think I like this Zach guy, or what his whole deal is.
The reason Coaster started making animations in the first place, so he was pretty excited when he got a direct message from the owner of Enchanted Mob. Zach messaged him saying, "Hi, you may not have heard of me, I'm the manager of Enchanted Mob Inc. and its subsidiary 3A Display. We've noticed your channel is doing very well." Then Zach asked to get on a call with Ecker in 20 minutes and didn't really mention why. Ecker was still streaming, so he said, 20 minutes? I still might be live. And Zach said, end the stream then. Are you about ready? Almost, like 15 minutes? I can, but this meeting is more important than your stream. Please keep that in mind. 1 hour streams are normally pretty long. So for no apparent reason, Zach was being super hot.
What the fuck? Bro, let the guy stream.
Hostile right off the bat. But they finally got on a call, and Ecker was told that he should join the Enchanted Mob team and help with their videos instead of focusing on his own channel.
Jesus!
Ecker was told that unless he joined Mob, he would never be successful on his own. He was told he won't be able to afford things, he's not making enough money. Ecker at first said no.
So let me get this straight. This guy's threatening Echocoaster to... Threatening Echocoaster, saying, "Oh, you're not going to get any more money if you don't get off stream." This guy's a piece of shit.
No to this because he wanted to focus on his own channel with his own community. But he later ended up agreeing and joined the Enchanted Mob team. He was added to a group chat with a bunch of other people who worked on Enchanted Mob, and everything seemed fine at first. But we later found out that some of the Enchanted Mob animators were bullying him behind his back. Some of this includes putting a gun emoji and pointing it at Ecker's profile picture. And when Ecker
Bro, this dude's insane.
confronted the person that said this, they said it was just a joke, LOL.
What?
There were some more times where Zach or other people on the team...
How was that a joke? Like, this guy was just streaming and what the...
would intentionally try to make Ecker mad, but Ecker decided to stop talking to all of them entirely and focus on his own channel again. And now, you might be wondering how we know all this. Well, in 2020, Ecker posted this video, Why Ecker Coaster Disappeared. And in the description of the video, he linked a long document showing screenshots of everything that was said to him, making the situation public, calling out Enchanted Mob, a giant YouTube channel who was bullying an at the time 15-year-old. And remember, all of this came from him just liking the Enchanted Mob channel and wanting to do what they do, but what ultimately came from this was nothing. None of this really affected the Enchanted Mob channel or its views, and when I started doing research for this video, it was the first time I had heard about any of this, and I was genuinely shocked about how little this entire situation is talked about nowadays. It was a pretty big thing when it happened, and a lot of people were saying that they no longer supported Enchanted Mob because of it, but only a couple months later, Enchanted Mob decided to create Mob Games, a gaming company that was directly...
This was before they made... What the fuck?
...connected to the Enchanted Mob channel.
This is before they made Poppy Playtime, by the way. What? So they've always been this vile? What?
And they would start work on their very first game, Poppy Playtime. The director of the game, Isaac, made this Kickstarter page where you could help fund the development of the game. And it had certain levels that would give you free stuff based on how much money you gave. If you donated $5, you would get a free copy of the game, $25 got your name in the credits, $250 will get you everything from before plus a background pack, so just photos like this, and you get your own fan-made character put in the game as a 2D drawing. And finally, $500 will get your fan-made character a 3D design in the game. Now this Kickstarter page completely failed, only getting $200 out of the $45,000 they were asking for.
Hang on. Where the fuck did the money go then? Where did the other money go?
The Kickstarter was not very popular, and the people who did come across it did not think that the rewards it gave them were worth it. People felt like for $250, they should be getting more than just a drawing in the game.
Like, put a charity towards it. What?
That would probably be barely visible, and most people who play the game wouldn't even know it was there. Or $50 that would just get you a background pack. And something really shady is that when the Kickstarter failed, they completely canceled it and you couldn't give money to it anymore. But Chapter 1 still dropped only a month later. So why were they asking for $45,000 when the game was ready to release anyway? What were they actually going to do with that money if they got it? Because it's clear that they weren't going to use it for the game.
No.
There is a possible answer to this that does make some kind of sense.
Yeah, hold on. What?
$1,000 when the game was ready to release anyway. Completely canceled it and you couldn't give money to it anymore.
Wait, so they just took people's money? They should have been using it to the game. What? Hold on. What? No. What? Hold on.
Visible, and most people who play the game wouldn't even know it was there. Or $50 that would just get you a background pack. And something really shady is that when the Kickstarter failed, they completely canceled it and you couldn't give money to it anymore.
What? So they had a Kickstarter and cancelled it? What? No. So they had a Kickstarter and then cancelled it and then took everybody's money? What the fuck?
But Chapter 1 still dropped only a month later. So why were they asking for $45,000?
Yeah, the money should have gone to the game.
The game was ready to release anyway. What were they actually going to do with that money if they got it?
Yeah, well,
It's clear that
exactly.
they weren't going to use it for the game.
What?
There is a possible answer to this that does make some kind of sense, and it's that Poppy Playtime Chapter 1 was supposed to be a way bigger game than we actually ended up getting. The final game takes around 15 minutes to beat, with only a couple puzzles and one main enemy, but it was revealed later in an interview that there was going to be way more puzzles and minigames, and potentially more monsters too. And so maybe they created this Kickstarter to raise money to make the game bigger like how it was intended to be. But this isn't that strong of an argument either, because in that same interview, Isaac said that they cut all that stuff out because of limited time, not...
So where did the money go? The money, if this is true and they are basically taking people's money for, I don't know, budget reason, maybe they're getting like a house. If they are deliberately taking money for no apparent reason, this is the biggest scam on the fucking planet.
Not because they didn't have enough money. This controversy is not very well known, and it's not super big either, but it still counts, and I feel like I should at least mention it in this video.
Yeah.
But this was all nothing compared.
This actually just, this makes this so much worse in my opinion. Because if they are indeed taking people's money and not investing it into the game itself, then this feels like a giant scam. Like, why the fuck are they scamming people out of their hard-earned money? Zach needs to come out of this, come out and address this immediately, because this makes him look like a big piece of shit, in my opinion.
Compared to the drama that came when Poppy Playtime actually
evil.
On October 12th, 2021, Chapter 1 would finally come out on Steam, and right away the game started to pick up traction. It became the biggest thing on TikTok for a while, with YouTubers playing it and making theories on it. But there was one YouTuber who was not very happy with the game's release, and that YouTuber was Ecker Coaster, the same guy from earlier who was bullied by Mob when they were still just a YouTube channel. Ecker noticed some very odd parts of Poppy Playtime and saw that a lot of the game was pretty similar to his game that he had released about a year before. And so Ecker went on Twitter and made this post. The recent game has been blowing up. Poppy Playtime stole my game's story. He pointed out that both the games were about exploring an abandoned building. Poppy Playtime stole the idea of character cardboard cutout.
Wait, hold on. So, let me get this straight. Wow. So they stole ideas as well? They stole ideas from this guy? Jesus Christ. They stole ideas from this guy and then implemented into Bob. Jesus. How has there not been a lawsuit? How has this guy not been investigated by the police? Like, this Zach guy is horrible. He's evil. I have to say this right now. He's evil. And the fact he's like taking money as well from people who are invested with your product and then just not do anything about it. What the fuck, Zach?
Cutouts, some designs look similar. I'm gonna defend Venge with all I have. This situation is frustrating as this has happened before in the animation community, and now it's happening with Venge. Considering that he had a history with Mob and they released their game only a year after this,
I'm skipping this ad. Come on. You can't just take ideas and shove them into their game. Let's say fire this guy, then they sit. What am I hearing? What am I hearing? This is. How has Moist not covered this? How has no one else covered this shit? This is vile.
it looked like there could actually be some merit to his claim. But Twitter did not agree. You're making it out
What?
to be identical, but from what I saw, the games are not identical. They're
How?
just similar. By that logic,
how are they not identical? How exactly are they not identical, dude? What the
which is a copy of Bendy and the Ink Machine.
This is
I
wrong.
really do hope that these
This is a
accusations go
crime.
The concept of exploring
They're
abandoned pets is
committing
not
a
a unique idea in the
crime
first place,
here.
especially with old cartoon characters. This comparison really just looks like a desperate attempt to hop onto the big horror game right now. So this never really went anywhere either, but the next big controversy Poppy Playtime had to deal with was when the game was shown on the news. There's a bunch of clips on YouTube from when the first game came out, showing news broadcasters talking about how dangerous the game is and how it can be traumatic for some kids.
A character in a new online video game intended for adults has become very popular with children. You may have heard your kids mention Huggy Wuggy. He resembles...
Yeah. Again, what? Why didn't this go anywhere? Why? Did Zach cover it up? Why didn't Zach explain why he stole from Echo Coaster? Mind explaining to me that? But again, this needs to be investigated further. I think Moist needs to look into this because, frankly, if they are stealing money, get CoffeeZilla in this, because this guy Zach, I think but by the looks of things, he seems to have a bit of a fucked up past, in my opinion.
Resembles a bear, but he is not friendly.
Scamming people out of their hard-earned money for what exactly? Where did that money go exactly? May I ask? I need more explanation from this Zach.
You know about him?
He's blue, his head shaped as a heart, and he hugs you until your head pops off.
There's also this clip where they just make things up and say Huggy Wuggy whisper songs in your ear, and kids were imitating that on the playground.
It's pretty unsettling. It is unsettling, Steve and Jeanette, and it's called, innocently enough, the Huggy Wuggy game. And while it may sound innocent, like I said, it could actually be really traumatic for some children.
So apparently in the game, the character that you just saw goes around and hugs people and whispers really creepy songs into their ears. So Common Sense Media says there's no graphic violence.
Yeah, this part seems like a bit of a nothing burger, this stuff. However, the stuff earlier, that needs to be thoroughly investigated, and I think Zach needs to. And if you come at me trying to copyright strike this video, community guidelines strike this video, Zach, I will have a team of, I will speak to Midhar or Moist, and I will find a way to shut your company down if you keep on doing this, dude. Yeah, because you seem like the type of guy who would probably shut down people's channels critical of you, because frankly, in my opinion, I will send people to Moist to talk about this on his channel and get CoffeeZilla involved and have your entire company shut down.
But obviously,
if you or have you stepped down, because this is no way to promote your game by scamming people.
that can be a little scary. On playgrounds, it seems like kids are mimicking that. They're going around and hugging each other and kind of whispering these creepy mantras at each other.
Now, in my opinion, there's nothing in Poppy Playtime that's going to traumatize a kid for life, especially because in this clip they were talking about only chapter 1. The most disturbing thing in that game are some blood marks that are left on the metal pipes as Huggy falls, but that's pretty much it. There was also a bunch of articles released warning parents about Poppy Playtime, like the terrifying Momo sculpture that became the centerpiece of an alleged internet challenge a few years back. Huggy Wuggy has become the new mascot for schoolyard hijinks that can have lasting negative effects on a young child's mental health. Children have been mimicking the blue horror at school, frightening and potentially even traumatizing their peers. And now, one of the most well-known Poppy Playtime controversies, when Mob made Poppy Playtime NFTs. If you don't know, NFTs are these digital drawings.
He honestly, like, why? NFTs? Again, same with the thing, same last time, same last time with the Kickstarter. He's stealing money from people. This is crypto scams. Why is he doing this?
That people can buy and
Honestly, at first, before watching this video, I thought, oh god, he made a couple of bad choices, Mob Entertainment made a bunch of bad parts of me chapter. It was slightly boring, some of it, but this goes so much. This makes it so much worse, in my opinion. In fact, implementing NFTs is the brown mode. This is the fucking brown mode, people. And the fact Zach has not come out and addressed this situation of him stealing from creators, stealing from people's money, and laundering it into some kind of what was that money for? Was it for this? Was it for the NFTs? What was the plan here?
sell, some being worth thousands of dollars. They were popular for a while back in 2021 and 2022. Nobody really talks about them anymore, and 95% of them are now worth nothing. But in late 2021, only a couple months after Chapter 1 came out, Mob released 6 NFTs of different Poppy Playtime characters, $15 each, and hid secrets for Chapter 2 on the back of them that you could only find if you bought them. And before they dropped, they released this now deleted video telling people about them.
It's me, Laith Pierre. Nah, that'll never sell. Oh, we're rolling? Hi, my name is Laith Pierre, and I'm here to tell you about our brand new Playtime Code digital collectible posters. We've got 7, count them, 7 collectible posters, 5,000 of each, front and back, including but not limited to Huggy Wuggy, Candy Cat, Poppy, and Brawn. But wait, there's more, folks. With each poster you collect, you'll unlock a special VHS tape video on the back.
Oh my god. This is bad.
I can get perfect music suggestions based off my video, a written description, or another track that I...
Imagine paying for lore. Imagine paying for, lore dumps and that. How has he gotten away with this? How exactly has he gotten away with this insanity?
Fun for the whole family. You know what? Collect all 6 posters and we'll even throw in the 7th one for free.
Oh
because my heart is just that Bunyan-esque. So, mark your calendars, people. These posters will be available this Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern. They're gonna go fast, so make sure to get them before I do.
Some people bought these, and the lore secrets on the back of them spelt out Mommy Longlegs is coming, teasing Chapter 2. This is probably one of, if not the most hated thing Mob Entertainment ever did. They received so much backlash that they stopped talking about the NFTs entirely, but still kept them up and available to buy because they legally couldn't take them down yet, but the damage had already been done. Poppy Playtime devs still went with the NFTs despite the insane backlash and tweet deletion. Reminder to refund the game if you bought it in the last 2 weeks and to give it a negative review on Steam. After all this, Mob promised to never make NFTs ever again, and they tried to erase this whole situation from people's minds, banning people on their server that talked about the NFTs.
Oh, of course you would be doing that, you joke. This guy is such a sensitive loser. My god.
If you're wondering why the decision to make NFTs was so hated, it's because it was clear that
oh my goodness, and he's blocking people. Surprise me, ends up striking channels. If you come after me, Zach Bellinger, or what the fuck your name is, you are a complete and utter dipshit.
they were just doing it for money, hiding more behind the posters, encouraging people to buy them to learn more about the Poppy Playtime story. It was $15 each for a digital 2D card that did nothing. NFTs were big at the time, so it was clear that they were just doing this to hop on and try to make some money off it. And before we move into the Chapter 2 era, there was still a couple more things that Mob had to deal with. In the beginning of April 2022, Mob gave an estimated release for Chapter 2, saying it would come sometime in the next 3 weeks. They also heavily implied that it would be on April 18th, and most people thought it would be too, but the game never ended up dropping until May 5th. It was also delayed a couple hours on the release day, which is not too big a deal, but another big controversy Mob...
That guy has probably got this main character syndrome. He thinks, oh, I'm right, oh, I'm gonna block people because they're so angry at me, you paid me. Yeah, like,
Mob found themselves in was on April 27th, only about a week before the release of Chapter 2, where they announced the Poppy Playtime movie on Twitter. Mob Entertainment is proud to announce a partnership with Studio 71 to develop and produce a film based on Poppy Playtime. When Mob announced this, they received a ton of backlash for it. They were already accused of being greedy and money hungry with the NFTs and stuff, but announcing an entire movie was a whole nother level. When they announced this, we only had Chapter 1, which was a 15-minute game, so people were super confused.
Yeah. It's not... Honestly, I think Zach Bellinger needs to have a look at, need to be investigated for this, because this isn't just greedy, this is criminal. He needs to be investigated for this immediately.
On how they were going to make an entire movie based off of 15 minutes of gameplay. What inspired you to make a film before you even released Chapter 2? Money. Wow, you guys are really just in this for the money, aren't you? Obviously now we have 5 chapters and a movie seems a lot more justified with all the lore they can base it off now. The movie's still in development, we get updates on it every once in a while, and it seems like it's in super early production and probably won't release for another couple years. But on May 5th, 2022, Poppy Playtime Chapter 2 finally released. Chapter 2 was definitely a step up from the first game, being longer with more fun puzzles and minigames, better quality, a new villain. There were a couple bugs and glitches in the game which were later fixed, and there was a good amount of time in this era where Mob was pretty drama-free with almost no controversy around this time. And later that year in August, we got our first teaser for Chapter 3, showing this red and yellow gas mask, making a lot of people think that Brawn the dinosaur might be the Chapter 3 villain, since the colors on his body are the same as the colors on the gas mask, red and yellow. But the teaser gave us the release date of sometime in 2023. The community assumed it would be out early 2023 considering how fast Chapter 2 came out, but then, very unexpectedly, on Halloween night that same year, Mob announced their new Poppy Playtime multiplayer spin-off game, Project Playtime.
And then it got shut down because basically they hate you. These fucking people hate you. They do not care about quality. They care about money. They don't care. It got shut down quite recently because they despise you and they want your money for no reason whatsoever.
We're incredibly excited for everyone to see what our team has poured their hearts and souls into creating over the last 6 months. Until then, it's up to you to unravel the mystery behind Project Playtime. We were given the release date of December along with an ARG to keep us busy until the game came out. This is where the next bit of drama would happen with Poppy Playtime. But at one point in the ARG, we were given coordinates, and part of the community thought that these coordinates led to a graveyard. And some people dug up real graves at cemeteries, thinking there might be Project Playtime secrets somewhere nearby. A Mob dev had to step in and say, "We've seen some theories about the hidden numbers leading to a cemetery, and we wanted to let you know that ain't it. This is all taking place online. Do not dig up graves or trespass on private property. That is super illegal. We want to make this a fun experience for all of you guys."
You don't want to talk Zach Bellinger after you stole people's money, you fucking evil scumbag.
And don't want to see anyone get in trouble. But then later, the ARG ended, and Project Playtime would get its first full trailer, revealing a brand new villain, Boxy Boo.
Yeah, you don't want to talk about illegal stuff. Seeing people.
The community was pretty split on Boxy Boo's design, with a lot of people saying he just looked bad and not scary at all, but for some other fans he would become their new favorite. And Project Playtime itself actually got delayed around a week, with it supposed to drop on December 6th, but dropped on the 12th instead. And the game was super disappointing for a lot of people, and it was super fun for a lot of other people. It was the most buggy and glitchy Poppy Playtime game so far. It had a battle pass which costed real money that would get you skins and outfits. People were super mad at Mob for this, but I don't really see it as that big of a problem, considering the game was free and you weren't forced to spend any money. And like I said, the other side of the community really enjoyed Project Playtime, saying it was just a super chill, fun survival game that you could play with friends. But something that did turn out to be a huge problem were all the glitches. Like I said, it was the most buggy and unfinished game Mob released so far, with some of the glitches resulting in you dying with nothing you can do about it. In Chapter 2, the glitches weren't as bad because you could just reset your game and the glitch would be fixed and you would pick up right where you left off. But in a live game that you're playing with friends, you can't just leave and reset without all your friends leaving as well. A popular opinion that a lot of the community agrees on is that Project Playtime got worse over time. The bugs and glitches were fixed, and Mob put out Phase 2 and 3 of the game, giving new maps and new skins, but people just lost interest over time. The game was the same thing every round, which made it get boring super fast. And the player count going down was made worse by the fact that you need other people to play the game. So if you were trying to queue into a game, it would take longer and longer the less people that were playing, making it super hard to get.
Again, greed, stealing money.
get into a game, and so those people quit, making the player count go down even more, resulting in longer queue times, resulting in even less players. And for whatever reason, the mob team made some horrible decisions when adding new stuff to the game, like making it so you can't play with friends anymore, only random people, removing everything that made Project Playtime unique, turning it into just a basic survival multiplayer game, removing daily rewards, giving less and less updates for the game. All this continued until Mob decided to stop updating Project Playtime entirely. In October 2023, Phase 3 of the game dropped, and that was the last update the game ever got. It's now 2026, almost 3 years, and the game has gotten no updates. And all this is an ongoing controversy that's still happening to this day, because Project Playtime still has a dedicated fanbase that wants to see a Phase 4 or at least just some more content for the game, and a lot of these people spent real money on the game for skins and battle passes, only for the game to be abandoned by the devs.
Yeah.
And every time a mob dev talks about Project Playtime, it seems like they have no plans for the game right now. Will Project Playtime ever get more content? I'm not sure, let me know if you wanted to, and maybe one day we'll get a Phase 4. But after Phase 3 dropped and the player count was still low, Mob decided that it was time to drop the next actual Poppy Playtime game, Chapter 3. By this point, it had been a full year since the first Chapter 3 teaser, and we got a second one in summer of 2023, showing us that Chapter 3 would be the most different game in the entire series. In December 2023, we got a full trailer for the game, revealing a new villain, Catnap, along with the announcement that
Chapter 3 was really good. Why did they fuck up after that? Why?
The game would be delayed into 2024. This was super disappointing for a lot of people because they had the massive window of the entirety of 2023 to release the game, but still ended up having to delay it to 2024.
So I enjoyed
but Chapter 3 like the most promising game so far, and on January 30th, 2024, it will finally release, being fully worth the wait. It was the scariest game so far, had cool new characters like Catnap and the rest of the Smiling Critters, Miss Delight, who would all become fan favorites. And while the game itself was super loved, there was something that happened right after it dropped that would change the future of Poppy Playtime forever. Chapters 1, 2, and 3 were all directed by this guy named Isaac. He was in charge of the story, gameplay, and everything that made the games what they were, and was probably responsible for a lot of Poppy Playtime's success. But shortly after Chapter 3's release, Isaac announced that he would be stepping away from Mob Entertainment and would not be the director for any upcoming.
I reckon he was fired. Just putting it out there. Zach probably saw, hey, I reckon he was fired. Hey, you're making quality content. You're gonna get fired now. Yeah, I think, yeah. I think someone needs to do a big investigation into mob games right now, because I think Zach was fired. I think Isaac was fired. Because, yeah, and here's the thing. They should have finished at 5. Why the hell did they continue from 5, move on to Chapter 6? Yeah. It's disgusting. It's downright evil. And I think that Zach fired Isaac. I'm going to put that out there.
Chapters. Hi everyone, I've gotten a lot of questions about what's going on with me and Mob.
First,
fired. Yes, I have left my position as director due to my differing opinions of studio direction / management style, and due to my own personal desire to work in a more indie setting.
A few months ago, we launched one of our biggest features ever, the ability to use your own voice to make music.
He was pretty vague on why he left, just saying it was because of differing opinions with Mob. The community was super supportive of this decision, and thousands of people wished him luck on whatever he was planning on doing next. But one question was on everyone's minds: how is this going to affect Chapter 4? Well, we wouldn't get our answer until later that year, but shortly after Isaac left, there were a bunch of other Mob employees who also said that they were leaving. It was weird these were all
I think he got fired because they needed... I think the reason why he got fired is because he wanted more time. And presumably, Zach fired him because, oh, we're a money-made machine. We want things going out, like now, like... Yeah, which, again, shows Zach doesn't care about the fans. He cares more about money. He cares more about stealing from people. He's disgusting. He's horrible. He's evil.
At the same time, and if 1 or 2 employees left, it wouldn't be that big of a problem. But it seemed like every few days, another major Mob employee would leave the company. Around this time, Mob was also facing backlash
Yeah,
for how they
frankly, I'd
treat their
want them
employees.
to leave,
The CEO
considering
and executive
the
leadership are
disgusting-
either abusive, negligent, and or will fire employees for simply
Told
getting on
you.
their bad side.
Told you,
That's
don't
leading to an
trust
overall
the
sense of
CEO.
dread and fear as to who's going to get fired next. You can do
I knew it. So if a CEO and the executive leader are abusive, then they should be investigated for not just fraud, but also from stealing people. This Zach guy seems like an evil piece of shit.
do everything right, but if they just don't like you, they will find a reason to get rid of you eventually. This all
So they
seems like
have
bad news for
favorite-
Chapter 4, with all these employees
favorite.
leaving and the Mob Company receiving so much backlash, and it looked like we would have to wait a while for Chapter 4. But later that year on September 30th, Poppy Playtime 4 got its first teaser trailer. The trailer was super short, didn't reveal much about the game, and it said that the game would be out in January. When this was announced, I was almost sure that Chapter 4 would be delayed at some point to maybe February or March, judging based off Mob's history with delaying their games. And January seemed super soon to be releasing another Poppy Playtime game already. Chapter 3 took almost 2 years, and Chapter 4 only took half that time. But surprisingly, Chapter 4 made its January release date with no delays. But when the first teaser came out, we were shown a new character, Baba Chops. The Chapter 4 Steam page was also posted, showing the new sheep character on the cover, making it look like this sheep would be Chapter 4's main villain. This started a bunch of drama in the Poppy Playtime community, with everyone not liking the idea of this tiny sheep character being the main villain of the game. It seemed like a step down from Chapter 3, but the devs would later confirm that Baba Chops is not the main villain, and the Chapter 4 Steam cover was just a placeholder and the true main villain will be revealed later. And over the next week, every day Mob posted a brand new character for Chapter 4, all being members of a new group, the Nightmare Critters. People hated the Nightmare Critters when they were getting revealed, because they just seemed like the Smiling Critters again with barely any differences. This was also made worse when it was revealed that the Nightmare Critters were made in July, making people think that they were just thrown in last minute for money. But in October, the true main villain for Chapter 4 was revealed, Yarnaby. He got his own trailer showing off some of Chapter 4's environments, and showing Yarnaby splitting his face in half to reveal his giant mouth. Yarnaby replaced Baba Chops on the Steam page, so it seemed like Yarnaby was actually the
Yeah, but he wasn't. Neither was the Doctor. Like, see, this is why I hated Chapter 4, because there's too many villains that like, oh, he's the main villain. No, he's, like, make your mind up. This is why, yeah. This is why Chapter 4 sucked, in my opinion.
Chapter 4 villain. But then it switched again to the Doctor in December, then again to Dowie in January. And at this point, fans were starting to get confused. They switched the character on the banner so many times, and no one even knew who the main villain of the game was. And there was also the other new character, Pianosaurus. He has a cool design. I can't wait to see what his boss fight is like.
Oh, man,
It all just
he
seemed
died.
like way too much, and this would carry over into the actual game. But before I talk about that, I need to talk about the Dowie drama. A few days before Chapter 4's release, we got our final trailer for the game, revealing a brand new character, Dowie the Doughman. And people absolutely hated him at first, saying he looks like something out of Garten of Banban and doesn't match the theme or aesthetic of Chapter 4, and it was unclear if he was going to be a good guy and help us in the game, or a bad guy and be our enemy. Well, we would get our answer on January 30th, 2025, where Chapter 4 would release on Steam. And the answer is that he was both. Dowie started as a good guy, turned evil after getting angry, and then we kill him. And as for the other characters, Yarnaby gets hung, the Doctor dies in a boring boss fight, and the Nightmare Critters had maybe 2 dedicated scenes. Chapter 4 was super hated on launch. It's the worst reviewed game in the Poppy Playtime series and felt way too long with most of the characters barely doing anything. The best example...
Yeah, exactly, because, once again, Zack scammed us, stole money. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if he stole some ideas from certain creators like he normally does. He's evil. And, frankly, it's his fault that Mob Entertainment is like this. This is why Examination left. He should be investigated by CoffeeZilla, and frankly, I repeat this again. He should be fired. He should be let go. He should have never become the CEO of Mob Entertainment in the first place. Let someone else have a go.
Pianosaurus, getting his own teaser trailer, having a part in the ARG before the game came out, only for him to get 30 seconds of screen time in the actual game. We fall off this ledge, Pianosaurus hears us and turns around, starts sprinting to us, only to get grabbed by Dowie, and then this happens.
Like, there's been
we do
so
full
many
fiber broadband, so you can do
like red flags in this with this guy, this Zach guy, and frankly, in my opinion, I'm gonna say something that I don't normally say. Vote with your wallet. Do not play Chapter 6. I'm going to do a mass boycott of this because, frankly, he doesn't deserve money. He's evil. He's willing to steal from other people, and frankly, I'm tired of this shit. And I want him. Yeah, I want the company to lose money. In my opinion, they should boycott the thing. In my opinion, boycott Poppy Playtime.
This started the hashtag Justice for Pianosaurus, with the entire fanbase collectively agreeing that they wasted his character in the game, with him barely getting to do anything before getting killed by Doey. The Justice for Pianosaurus meme got so big, Mob themselves made merch off it, they gave Pianosaurus a full comic on their Twitter, and gave him a cameo in Chapter 5. And that was only one of the characters that was underused or disappointing in Chapter 4. There was also the Doctor, who was given a full trailer building him up as the guy who created all the experiments, who had been watching us throughout our entire journey in the factory, and had this cool robot body with a cloak and a digital eyeball as his face. But in the actual game, he looked like this. All he did in the game was send Yarnaby and the Nightmare Critters after us, and had a super buggy boss fight that just wasn't fun to play.
Yeah.
And just like people predicted, the game had too much going on. Way too many characters, it felt too long, there were way too many areas they made us explore in the game. There was the prison, the caves, the Doctor's lair, No Man's Land, and it was also another super buggy and glitchy release. It was almost a tradition at this point that every new game in the series comes out with glitches, which would be fixed in the coming weeks. No game in the Poppy Playtime series at this point had been released with no glitches. The game just felt super unpolished, and the Yarnaby section had a glitch on launch that made it super hard to beat. Chapter 4 was also the first game with roaming AI characters. In the Chapter 1 chase scene, the entire thing is scripted, meaning no matter how you play it, Huggy will always do the exact same things in the exact same order and amount of time. But for Yarnaby, he would react based on what you did in the game. If you made too much noise, he would come running over to you. If you were super quiet and hid in the safe zones, he'd leave you alone. They also did this with the Doctor boss fight, and while it sounds like a cool idea, it was almost completely ruined by the game's glitches. Yarnaby would sometimes just freeze and not move, giving you no challenge at all. Sometimes he would teleport to you, killing you instantly with there being nothing you can do about it. The Doctor's henchmen were way too easy to beat and weren't even a challenge, so overall just not very fun. Chapter 4 is still the most hated in the series, with it not being a necessarily bad game, but super disappointing. One thing this game did do well was the story. Doey's backstory was sad just like how they intended it to be, the prototype was built up as more of a scary villain, and it seemed like the next game, Chapter 5, would be the last one in the series since we had nothing else to fight except the prototype. And later that year in around July, another controversy would start where a bunch of Chapter 5 character names leaked months before the game came out. Lily Lovebraids, Giblet, Chum Chompkins, the Wrong Side Animals were all accidentally leaked on a website that shows copyrighted names. These names didn't tell us anything major about the game, but it did tell us that there would be new characters we'd have to fight.
See what I mean? Maybe everybody talking about how Zach, I don't know. How did those leaks happen? I don't know. Maybe the guy, the CEO. Maybe he and his friend were actually abusive people, and that wasn't just allegations. They are definitely abusive people. So abusive that people are willing to leak stuff to ruin your credibility. What could that be all about?
And this worried a lot of people because it was very likely that this would be the final game mainly focusing on the prototype, and all these new characters would just take time away from that. There was also a bunch of people who just didn't like the new names, once again comparing them to Garten of Banban, saying names like Doodle Bones or Bindle Boogie were not scary. But then on Halloween Day in 2025, Chapter 5 got its first teaser trailer. The trailer showed parts of the labs which we would be exploring in the game, new looks at the Poppy gel substance we had known about for a while, teases of the prototype's legs, a cardboard cutout of Poppy being burned in a fire. This only made people more sure that this would be the final game, because it was hinting that something very bad would happen to Poppy in Chapter 5, possibly even her death. And if she dies, then the games can't really go on, meaning Chapter 5 might actually be the finale. We got another teaser for Chapter 5, showing Poppy running through a vent trying to escape from the prototype, new characters which people theorized to be the Wrong Side Animals, and at the end of the trailer, we got our first look at Lily Lovebraids. Things seemed promising so far, and it looked like Mob wasn't hyping up the game as much as they were for Chapter 4, so people wouldn't be disappointed when it came out. We got a full trailer on the prototype, a short ARG that told the story of 2 Playtime co-employees who were trapped in the factory after the Hour of Joy, and we now had the release date of February 18th. It looked like instead of dropping the game on January 30th again, they were going to take some extra time with this one, which is exactly what people wanted them to do. Mob also partnered with CG5 to make a song for the game that would drop after Chapter 5 came out.
Goodness.
They did the same thing for...
They fucking milked CG5 with his songs. I don't even think he would have been on board if they gave him money. Honestly, I think, again, this entire thing of him of Zach extending Poppy Playtime was clearly for a marketing ploy. It was clearly for, again, scamming and swindling his audience. Scott Cawthon didn't even do this shit. This is why I prefer Bendy and Financial Values. Because at least some of them, sometimes they care about their fans. This Zach guy just sees them as dollar signs that he can steal off. He's not a game developer. He's a downright scam con artist.
For Chapter 3, and it was a major success for both CG5 and Mob. So they were going to do it again for Chapter 5.
Relieve dry, tight, or sensitive skin in 60 seconds with a Pheno skin.
And I'm so serious. He needs to be investigated for this. Because this is not good. This is not legal. It's illegal.
The entire
to
song
do this.
I still don't know how this happened.
How is this not illegal?
But the song revealed some pretty interesting things about the game. The song was sung from the prototype's perspective, some of it being dialogue straight from the game's script, but a lot of the song was out of context, and we wouldn't know what some things meant until after the game came out, so that was nice. I actually made a video on this leak when it happened, talking about some of the song's lyrics, and Mob asked if I would take it down, so I did. As we got closer to the game's release, we got one final trailer. Up until this point, everybody was hyped for the game, and it looked like it was going to be more like Chapter 3, which is the most loved by the fanbase. But in this new trailer, we were given the full reveal of Lily, and this quickly changed a lot of people's opinions about the game. A lot of people hated her design, saying she wasn't scary and just more ugly, having no nose for some reason. There was also this scene in the trailer which showed an ice cream truck crashing into a wall, and this is where the Garten of Banban comparisons would come back up again. Remember, this was supposed to be the prototype's game. He was on the front cover, he had his own trailer, and all this extra stuff we saw in the trailer made it look like he wasn't actually going to be the main villain. This was all just speculation though, and we wouldn't know until the game actually released, and just 2 days before the game came out, the prototype's design was leaked on Twitter. The prototype's design was hyped up for 5 years, with us only seeing his hand and some of his legs for 4 games at this point, and the moment where we finally saw his full design for the first time was in a blurry, unfinished 3D render on Twitter. I'm pretty sure this leaked because they were making the music video for CG5's song, and somehow someone got access to the Blender file, and the prototype's full face and body was just sitting there. It's really unfortunate that this happened, but at least we still had the full game to look forward to. And on February 18th, 2026, Chapter 5 released.
Again,
and the reception to this one was just more confusing than anything. With Chapter 4, it was widely agreed upon that it wasn't bad, just disappointing. But for Chapter 5, some people said that they loved the game and it was their favorite in the series so far, and other people said that they absolutely hated it. The game ended on a cliffhanger revealing that the Doctor was alive, meaning there would end up being a Chapter 6 after all, and this wasn't the finale like how most people thought it would be. And that was a lot of people's reasons for not liking the game, some of these people being pretty popular streamers.
I said you needed to end it at 5. Now we're going to have a Fast and Furious situation. There's going to be 15 of these.
Yeah, because Zach Bellinger, whatever the fuck his name is, he basically wanted to turn it into a fast food thing. Like, again, how is this not legal? How is him stealing from creators to put into the game, steal money from people using a Kickstarter? Again, I have to ask, where did the money go? Where did that money go? Zach, yeah, he needs to be investigated by CoffeeZilla, because he's good with scammers. It would be just just a walk in the park. Yeah, like, why would he think doing all these things would get him scot-free? No, Sunshine, you are about to feel the full wrath of the law in a moment.
Games. There's gonna be 15 of these games. They're gonna be making these games when we're all old, dead, and in the ground. There's gonna be a new generation of streamers that are playing Puppy Playtime number 35.
And as for Chapter 5's gameplay, you either loved it or hated it. I liked a lot of Chapter 5's gameplay, but some puzzles were actually terrible and made me want to quit. The game released with no bugs or glitches as far as I'm aware, which is definitely a good thing. Some people didn't like the prototype's design. I thought it was fine. But the biggest piece of controversy that came out of this era was when Markiplier played it. Markiplier has almost 40 million subscribers on YouTube and a very large audience, and he had this to say about Chapter 5.
This was a mess.
Exactly.
I am saying this because, and I have...
Seeing Mark's review now, and seeing this now, just makes this review, just makes this whole thing 100 times worse, in my opinion. Because, yeah, this just makes it so much worse, in my opinion. Because, not only, if it was just that they made a couple of bad chapters, I would be perfectly fine with that. The problem is how they are exploiting people, stealing money and stealing like ideas from other creators. Whatever happened to original ideas? Come on. Like, this makes this so much worse, in my opinion. And frankly, I think Moist or somebody should investigate them, because right now, this feels criminal. I feel disgusted watching this.
This policy, right? If it's the first game in a new series, if it's the second, third, I can be more forgiving of things finding its footing. This is Chapter 5, right?
He was unbelievably harsh towards the game, saying he won't be playing Chapter 6, and people on Twitter got mad at him for saying this, and then other people got mad at those people, and Markiplier had recently made a movie that was out in theaters, with people saying it was bad, so he wasn't allowed to say Chapter 5 was bad.
What?
After a while, the drama started to settle down, with less people talking about it over time, and that's when all of a sudden, Isaac, the old director of Poppy Playtime, did a Q&A on his Twitter. And in this Q&A, he mentioned that in his original outline for the series, Chapter 5 was supposed to be the finale, but...
Oh... yeah, he was fired. Oh, I get it. Like, how's this guy got away with it? How has Zach Bellinger, what the fuck his name is he? He's not related to Colin Bellinger, is he? No. Or whatever. Anyway, how has he got away with this? Again, Isaac, if you are watching this video, I would recommend speaking to Coffeezilla about this, because from what I see here, if this is true, if he is being abusive to his employees, then he shouldn't be in office, he shouldn't be there, he should be removed, and frankly, you should probably take the CEO job, or in fact, people on my, I don't normally issue a boycott, but I think Poppy Playtime needs a boycott. It needs a boycott, in my opinion. Next chapter, do not buy Chapter 6. I'm encouraging you, do not buy it, because it is giving Zach, the scammer, what he wants.
But Mob was now stretching it into more games.
If you come at me, Zach, I will let Moist know, and he will issue a lawsuit against you. Or copies of it. Somebody will issue a lawsuit against you. Because I am not having that.
I don't know if you've noticed, but a reoccurring theme throughout this video is Mob Entertainment being seen as greedy. And And when this news came out, it solidified in a lot of people's minds that Mob Entertainment actually is just greedy and is doing everything they can to get as much money as they can. I'm not saying they are or they aren't, that's for you to decide in the comments. But now it was revealed to us that Mob had the opportunity to end the games at 5 and then do spin-offs and expand the game universe in other ways. But instead, they chose to make a Chapter 6, and maybe even a Chapter 7 or a Chapter 8. And speaking of Isaac, a lot of people have been asking him to come back to Mob to save Poppy Playtime for Chapter 6. There's definitely a noticeable shift between Chapters 3 and 4, aka when Isaac left. And Chapter 5 was a lot more like Chapter 4 than people wanted it to be, and I think a reason we feel the shift so much is Isaac leaving Mob. Maybe he'll come back and help with Chapter 6. A lot of people have been asking him to. I don't really think so though, since now he's working on his own stuff. And now the most recent controversy, Mob put up a new Poppy Playtime store, selling these wrong side animal plushies for $50 each. And I think we can all agree, these are not worth $50, and people have been calling Mob greedy again. And now, if we just take a step back and look at Mob as a company, it's kind of shocking that I can make a 30-minute video just going over their controversies. I think Mob themselves can agree that they've made bad decisions before. Every single company ever has done at least a couple things that they wish.
Well, sure, the employees can. Zach can't. He thinks he's above criticism, in my opinion. He basically would be willing to threaten people who don't go on live streams, who steal ideas from people, who steal money from people. He's a downright thief. And he's basically scamming his fans so he can get what he wants. Which is why I think no one should buy your fucking Chapter 6, in my opinion. I think it should be boycotted, in my opinion. No one should be playing games owned by scammers.
They could go back in time and stop themselves from doing. But the reason Mob has gotten away with so much while other companies would probably die from controversies like this is because...
I remind you, this is just my opinion. This is just my opinion of the guy. I do not appreciate like this kind of stuff, because this is not right. This is wrong.
Because no matter how bad the controversy, the quality of the games will get better with each release. That was until Chapter 4. If Chapter 6 is anything like Chapter 4 and 5, I don't really know if Mob can bounce back from that. No matter how popular a game series is, people won't just support it forever if the quality of the games are going down. And I do think that Chapter 5 was a step up from Chapter 4, but still, it's the 5th game, so the 5th game should be the best. I personally think that Chapter 2 and 3 are probably better than the 5th game. But it seems like Mob does want to make Chapter 6 good, with them hiring a bunch of new people behind the scenes. But I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens. That pretty much wraps up this video. Let me know if you guys want longer videos like this one or my last one.
Jerk. Honestly, thank you, Copper, for showing me this video, because it definitely painted a darker picture for my original opinions with Poppy Playtime. And honestly, I think Zach is an evil piece of shit who should be sued, who should lose money. And I think people, if you are a fan of horror, I would recommend not buying Chapter 6, because it would give this guy, this person, what he wants. And if you come after me, I will hire a team of lawyers to shut you down. Or, well, not me, but someone else. I will spread this through Twitter that Zach Bellinger is stealing ideas from other people, and you'll be sued for millions. Just like, look at Mr. Beast, he can be sued. Logan Paul, he can be sued, and so can you. Fuck you. Anyway.
You're one sentence away from launching your website
Anyway,
with base.
Rant over.
Hey, can we do this?
Anyway, now we got this video now. It's a creator. This is Suitborn Chapter 3.
appears to have formed a cocoon of some sorts, almost like a caterpillar undergoing metamorphosis. And judging by this behavior, we can say that the biological framework of the subject has overtaken its mechanical structure.
This thing, wasn't it originally an animatronic?
Not quite.
I think I should start doing drama videos.
Subject 3 utilized the animatronic in its construction. Granted, we did expose it to twice the amount of substance.
I see. Have the others had the same reaction?
Our data infers a metamorphosis of
for a Roblox game,
whether or not it will grow limbs, tumors, and wings is unknown.
But you need to keep this both under control This needs to be real, complete, and up to standards.
Wait, which Godzilla monster is that? I don't know which one that is, but anyway, let's have a look at this. We got another one made by Space Alchemist, just by
Alright everyone, shut up. Let's get your orientation over with, because you're not the first replacements, and you won't be the last. Welcome to the Milky Way Galaxy Expedition. First thing to remember, you're all fucked, and you're gonna die.
Who the fuck struts off an orientation like that and just sat down?
Secondly, you all have to be racist now.
Sir, isn't the Empire already xenophobic?
Well, yeah, but more in a human superiority complex with a mild alien slavery kind of thing. What I'm talking about is a very deliberate genocidal kind of xenophobia. Because forget the cute teddy bears, glowy-eyed gremlins, and the Twi'lek pole dancer you dumped your girlfriend for in college, but who turned out to be crazy, go figure, tailhead, stalking you everywhere and making your life a living nightmare, eventually driving you to become a stormtrooper just to get away from her crazy ass.
The fuck?
Moving on. Any tolerance you had for aliens basically goes out the window because your new aliens look like this. Tyranids, a hive mind of space bugs who literally want to eat the entire galaxy and become even more powerful the more people they consume. Orcs, large green-skinned savages who reproduce via spores and enslave or kill anything they can get their hands on. Also can somehow make advanced weaponry out of literal junk. Necrons, some race of aliens that used to be flesh and blood, but lost their souls or something and got themselves turned into killer droids who want to kill or conquer all sentient life. I hope you're seeing the pattern. The Eldar, pompous pricks who think they're better than everyone else, despite being a dying race that hasn't ruled the galaxy in a very long time. Oh, and they're all apparently very talented psychers or something. Think Force users with some extra fun abilities. The Dark Eldar, more pompous pricks, but this time with the addition of being sadists who enjoy hobbies such as turning people into living furniture. I wish I was exaggerating. Living furniture.
Yes.
That's the kind of thing you would expect from a back room.
Yeah, that sign-up bonus wasn't worth it.
And finally, the Tau. Pretend they're accepting of other races and kinda are to an extent, but only insofar as a particular race is useful and submits to their rule. They have no problem sterilizing a population that's troublesome. Trust me. Although they're not too different from the Galactic Empire if we're being honest, and probably the only major alien faction you can reliably negotiate with.
Yeah, the Tower Kill.
And I suppose after covering all the major alien factions, I should actually mention this galaxy's human empire. The Imperium of Mankind.
The Imperium of Mankind.
Holy crap, how do I even begin with these backwards, upside down, sideways, mentally deficient, superstitious nincompoops? See this
Super soldiers.
That's their emperor. An emperor who's been in a half-dead, half-living state for the last 10,000 years, and who's worshipped as a god by fanatics that'll burn you at the slightest whiff of heresy. Let's just say the Imperium has a flavor of every kind of heresy. Xenos heresy, heresy of unbelief, heresy of witchcraft, tech heresy. Yep, you heard that right. Tech heresy. Like the others aren't enough. Don't try to innovate too much. Don't excessively modify sacred machines of war, or the mechanicus might just lobotomize you and turn you into a half-dead cyborg. Yes!
Actually, yeah, I do kinda relate to the Imperium of Man. One day I wanna have an empire like this. Yeah. Ruled by... I wanna be half dead and half alive. Well, technically I kind of am, but kind of am not.
This is what they use instead of droids. Please, someone, make this make sense.
Sir, if they're as backwards as you say, they're basically just pushovers, right?
No. They are anything but pushovers.
Despite being the most inefficient backwards empire I've ever seen, and constantly on the defensive from this galaxy's numerous horrors, they're probably one of the most powerful factions in the galaxy. Although I doubt it feels like that to the average citizen. They have trillions of men to throw at a problem until it goes away, and if that doesn't work, they have weaponry that makes what we have look like child toys. And I'd be remiss if I didn't at least talk about their most popular weapon, the Adeptus Astartes.
What are they like, commandos?
If commandos were seen as divine figures by a superstitious populace, then sure. Despite their mythic perception by the average Imperial citizen as the Emperor's angels, really they're just teenage boys who have been brutally bioengineered into 8-foot-tall killing machines, psycho-indoctrinated to carry out atrocities in the name of the Emperor. There used to be huge legions of Space Marines, but now they're divided into chapters of no more than 1,000 Marines. Apparently, that's what happens when a few legions rebel in a massive civil war, which inevitably ends with your emperor being crippled and entombed on the Golden Throne for all eternity, and your empire being torn to pieces, never to recover. I could go on, but I think you get the picture. There's a lot of history, and this galaxy's fucked up. That about sums it up.
The one time I volunteer for an assignment, I get this.
Hold up. There's something else in my notes. Something about Chaos Marine? Nope. You guys don't need to know about them just yet.
Back off, Iron Warrior. You're standing too close. I'm trying to listen. Were we supposed to be quiet? Yeah, so shut up. Pretty sure stealth has already been compromised.
They had one job.
Oh, fuck it.
Oh,
Night Lord? Iron Warrior?
Slave?
I thought we agreed you guys were gonna stay out of sight. And we were gonna, ease them into things.
Well, it was, but the Iron Warrior tried to use me as an excuse. And I shall have your head. Oh yeah, I'd like to see you try.
Okay, forgetting about the fact this is the reason you guys haven't defeated the Imperium yet, why'd you have to ruin my lecture?
You talked about everyone in your lecture but us.
Really? That's what this is about? I didn't give you enough credit? It's not like I can cover everything. You have any idea how much lore there is?
Still, should have given us more credit.
Sir, I think I can speak for all of us when I ask, what the f*** is going on?
Oh, yeah. Would you believe me if I told you they're just advisors?
Sir, they called you a slave, and I'm pretty certain that one has human skin on his pauldron.
You're about to learn how to fully translate your videos into any language in just a few. で、動画をどんな言語にも
Yeah, thought so. Guess I'll just have to explain. Long story short, in the first few weeks of entering the Milky Way, we ran into the Imperium and, well, they weren't too happy about another human empire even existing, so they decided to throw the full force of their military at us. We jumped around and evaded them for a while with our superior FDL, but eventually they pinned us down and shattered our fleet through essentially attrition, leaving us with a crippled fleet and a decimated command structure. somehow leaving me in charge. That's one way to get promoted. Just everyone above you die. I thought it prudent to make allies to try and salvage this mission. Not sure why I tried. Anyway, since these guys were already fighting the Imperium, I thought they'd make natural allies. And boy, was that a mistake.
Is that you complaining about us making you a slave? Oh, please, we go easy on him.
Yes, thank you for not wearing my skin as a cape. I'm so grateful. Anyway, we've been feigning loyalty to the Galactic Empire and extracting resources ever since.
Huh, that is kind of clever.
In any case, I suppose there's no point putting it off. It's time for your, real orientation.
Finally.
Try to keep the culling under 20% this time, will ya? I can't replenish the fleet with corpses.
Commander.
I hope you survive, Trooper. But if not, well, I suppose the Night Lord will have a new skin coat.
Oh, damn.
Welcome to the Grim Dark.
Time for some fun.
I just wanted health insurance.
Never join up for benefits.
Halloween is right around the corner.
Oh god, here we go.
Halloween is right around the corner, which means everyone's going to be dressing up, painting their face, partying, and having sex.
So, that previous video was made by Space Lycan. It was the one for the gays made by Stormtroopers. Now we're going to have a look at the worst Halloween costumes ever.
While they're dressed like priests and Batman and shit.
God,
Right?
here
It
we
also
go.
means that you're going to see some great costumes and some awful costumes. So obviously, I found the worst costumes of all time.
So-
You gave it a good try.
I was going to say, yes, this was suggested by Slick Eddie, regrettably.
But fucking no. This looks like a Homer Simpson costume that was eaten and then shit out by an old woman.
Oh
The
my
nose looks
God.
like an actual nutsack. A real nutsack, except this one looks like it has 3 balls in it. Also,
Yes.
the strands on top, the strands of hair on the top of this guy's head, it just looks like someone took pipe cleaners and then stabbed this dude in the head.
What
I don't know
even
how they're
is
staying
this?
on there, but they are. And what, did someone fucking finger paint this? What is this paint job? Dude, Halloween tip. If you look like this, either go get more paint or stay home. Well, I have a ton of questions.
Oh
I can't
my
tell
God,
if this is
what?
Edgar Allan Hooker or cross-dressing Hitler.
What
Either
the
way, it doesn't
fuck
make
is
sense.
this?
Honestly, this looks like this guy wanted to be a schoolgirl, a flight attendant, and Edgar Allan Poe, and couldn't make up his mind and was just like, yeah, fuck it, I'll be all of them. Those aren't the rules, though, man. Pick a thing. What would you tell someone that comes up to you and goes, because that's what people are going to do. That's what everyone lives for on Halloween. They go up to everyone and say, what are you supposed to be? Someone's going to go up to this guy and be like, so what are you supposed to be? And he's going to go, I have no fucking idea. I don't know what this is. I tried to do something. This is all I have. All right, now wait a goddamn minute. All right, I have no idea what this is supposed to be, and obviously this guy's costume sucks, but my main question here is, what is going on here? Is this guy trying to...
Good lord. Excuse me, Robin, why... Let me just... So, what we got here, let me explain this clearly to you, Joe Santagato. We've got Robin... Okay. So we've got 2 people, one dressed as Robin, the other Raven, and the guy, Robin, seems to have his... Okay, I only have one question to ask. Why is it so visible? Good God. Like, keep it in your pants, man. That's wrong.
Trying to sneak a football into this party? Those tights look like they're gonna bust open any second now.
Exactly.
Jesus, Robin, save some penis for the rest of us.
Exactly. Save some for the rest of us. I know Raven is, well, everyone's child crush, everyone's crush, no, not child crush, cartoon, I know Raven's like everybody's cartoon crush, but man, keep it in your pants, man. And also, good lord.
Anyway, yeah. Costume sucks.
It does
Looks
suck.
like something a 7-year-old would wear.
Yeah.
Do better, okay? And hide your damn dick. You're scaring everybody.
Yeah,
oh, well,
exactly.
isn't this cute? A
Wait,
baby
what?
dressed as Hitler. How adorable.
I genuinely have no idea what to say.
How
is this legal?
How did you think this was okay? What kind of parents are running the show over there? What happened? I want to know what happened. How did you land on Hitler? No Batman? No Superman? Baseball player? The Hulk? None of these? Fucking Hitler? It's as if they're trying to get their kid just punted across the street in the middle of trick-or-treating. I don't really recommend this at all.
Yeah, I don't
also
recommend this either.
that these parents maybe just sit out Halloween forever. Just sit this one out. Come back for Thanksgiving, but sit out Halloween, okay? Oh my God! What are you doing?
Jesus. I'm probably gonna say this now. This guy looks like a predator.
Cletus? You just ruined Elmo. Dude, it looks like he's trying to climb out of this guy's dick hole. I mean, where do you even buy something like this? Because I'm pretty sure, I'm definitely sure.
God.
No, who the fuck would sell this? No one is selling
My
this.
God, like, what is this guy trying to do? Why is he dressed up like that? Looks so weird. Good God. Like, and this is like someone's house. Is this like some kind of... Is this a Halloween party or some kind of strip club or something?
I'm pretty sure this psycho went to the store, bought 5 Elmo dolls, cut the heads off, like skinned them and shit, and then made little pants and in like a hat and
that's
like
not right.
dancer boots. What the fuck is that?
Same with the Robin outfit. See,
when I was a child, I would have had nightmares well into my 20s. So maybe this is a good costume because it scares people and that's the whole point of Halloween, whatever. But please just don't be this. Don't be creepy murderer go-go dancer Elmo. This is hands down the most creative and douchey costume I've ever seen. This kid is a cutout of a YouTube video that's titled Drunk Guy Makes Out with Hottest Chick at Party. This, although creative, seems like a Hail Mary attempt at trying to get girls to make out. And I'm sure most girls thought it was funny, and they're just like, oh my God, that's so great. Good job, Tommy. And walked away. But I'm also sure that there's probably a couple drunk girls at this party that are like, I'm the hottest fucking girl at this party, so spit in my mouth, let's do this. So even though this guy's creepy, he's also kind of a genius. And here's this guy. Great. Because what's funnier than bestiality? I can't figure out if I find this costume funny or not.
No, that's not funny. What the fuck?
Because I'm trying to picture one of my friends walking into a bar wearing this and then looking at me being like,
yeah, that looks weird.
You get it? And I'd be like, yeah, I get it.
It's bestiality.
You're fucking an animal.
Z-File.
So, am I supposed to laugh? What am I supposed to do? I think 1% of me would think it was funny for a millisecond, and then the rest of me would be like, don't know this fucking guy. I have no idea who that is. So maybe don't wear this costume, okay? Anyway, that is all for this week's video. Hopefully you have some guidance on what not to be for Halloween. I hope.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to be those people.
Hope it was educational. But anyway, don't forget to subscribe to my podcast called The Basement Yard. It comes out every Monday on iTunes and SoundCloud. And I will see you guys next week.
Okay, that was good. Anyway, my filler subjects. If you enjoyed this, see you all in the next video then. Farewell.